All right, so let's go over Amber Heard's appeal. So I'm going to do one of two things. One, I'm just going to give you a summary of my understanding of what the appeal is and what she's requesting and what she's arguing. Then in the description, I'm going to give you links to lawyers that go over the appeal in depth, more that in depth, better than I ever could. This is just a video in case you just want the bullet points, bang bang, and you're good to go. All right. So one is, the big one, which is Juror 15. Juror 15 is on the appeal because apparently his date of birth is wrong. Apparently, he was actually born in 1975, and the guy that should have been there was born in 1945. So Elaine is trying to make the case that Jury 15 should have never been there to begin with, so they should throw out the case because he shouldn't have been there. Now, I grabbed a copy of my, whenever they send jury duty, they give you whatever, they send you a freaking paper. I looked over it. Now, keep in mind, I'm in New York. That was in Virginia, so things might be a little bit different over there. But essentially, they don't really give you anything else to identify you except your first name, middle name, and last name. My first name and middle name and last name are the same. Okay. My brother's first name, middle name, and last name are the exact same as my father's. So if if we would have received a mail with that request to be on jury duty, we wouldn't know if it was they sent it to my father or my brother, right? We will have to probably call and ask questions on it, right? If it was me, we will be able to identify by my middle name. But other than that, the theory is that they probably sent it to the man's father and not him, but he ended up going anyways. But whatever. Now, although that could be seen as a good argument, it kind of falls apart because Elaine had to agree on him, right? Both parties had to agree on the juror for him to be able to decide or be in the bench. They both did. She did. She didn't think there was a problem, probably because she saw a younger juror, and she probably thought, hey, he will probably side with me. So she gave the okay. So since she gave the okay, and he's already of age where he could do jury duty, there's really no argument to why they should throw out the case just because of him. I guess she will make the case that, well, he should have not been there, and maybe his father or whoever it was would have decided differently. But you could also make the argument that they wouldn't have. So she really has no legal basis to stand on. Nothing would have changed probably. And she signed off to it. So like she knew that age was wrong, but she probably didn't care. It was not a big deal. Two, her lawyers are trying to make the argument that they defined abuse wrong. They should have defined abuse the way Amber Heard defined abuse, basically making the case that uh, if Amber Heard thought there was abuse, then that was abuse because in her mind, she felt like she was being abused. And that's all that should matter, right? It shouldn't matter our real definition of what abuse is, right? If I go up to you and ask you, and I told you that such and such is being abused, you would immediately think that he was, being abusive. She was hitting him or he was hitting her and doing all types of horrible stuff to her. But they're trying to say, well, Amber Heard thought that she was being abused because Johnny did this, that, and third. He was being emotional, yada, 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 instead of the actual definition. So the jury didn't think about Amber's definition of abuse. They thought of their own definition. That was wrong, which that doesn't work like that. They're trying to make the First Amendment case, basically saying that, Amber Heard had a right to speak, but that First Amendment case kind of, falls flat because the jury found her to have lied and have done it maliciously. So that doesn't protect you against your First Amendment. There was no evidence that he wasn't abusive, but that kind of, there was no evidence that he was not abusive. They kind of like just trying to flip it because there was no evidence that he was abusive. If that makes sense, right? So they're trying to say that they didn't provide any concrete evidence that without a shadow of a doubt he never abused her. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah, the big one is they're just trying to redefine abuse and they're trying to get him on juror number 15. And I think all of this is gonna fall flat and she's gonna be forced to pay. Hopefully. This is a 4-minute video, about a 5-minute video. That is the kind of like quick bullet points. but I'm gonna give you the link to the other lawyers that I watched, just in case you want to see a bigger description or in depth of the actual things. Right. So